Recording.
So I have reached Muradabad in 2 hours, done roughly 115 kilometers, took a short break. The road's going to be good for another about 20 kilometers. Mehragaon is still 144 kilometers away. You've got to be really careful on UP roads. People will come from every and anywhere. They'll come from the left, from the right, sometimes they'll just fly and land on the road, from the trees, from the lights. The only thing that they still can't do is come from underground, but I'm sure that they are capable of doing that as well. So I've been using this BMW GS Carbon Trophy helmet for about 400 kilometers now. It's just been 4-5 days since 5-6 days since I bought it, and in this short kind of a review I'm going to tell you what all I like about it and what all I don't like about it. And this short review is not going to be from the perspective of selling a helmet, because that's what generally people do. People who have provided reviews online are the ones who are selling the helmets, whereas there are very few people who are actually users of the helmet. So I thought that it's important, and it may be helpful for some people, as I'm using this helmet and will continue to do so for quite some time. So and trust me, there are some serious cons as far as this helmet is concerned. There are some things that I really completely dislike about this helmet, which shouldn't be the case considering that it's a premium brand, comes at a premium price. The biggest advantage of this helmet is its weight. It's really light, and I will give it to BMW or whoever has made this helmet, whoever is the manufacturer of this helmet. The weight is really light, and the helmet is really comfortable as far as fitting is concerned. I have a slight niggle on the left ear, but that's because of my fault, because I've installed the Sena on the helmet, and one wire is actually hitting the left part of my ear. But once I reach my destination, I'll take care of that. It's been irritating me for 4-5 days, and now I've been able to figure out why exactly it's irritating me. So that's big plus, which is that the helmet is really light, and it's really comfortable as well. But unfortunately, that's where the pros of this helmet end. Really, unfortunately. As far as the ventilation is concerned, it isn't good. It's really okay, but there are other brands which are cheaper but have better ventilation for sure. This one doesn't have a good ventilation, and they could easily have made it in such a way wherein it could have had better ventilation, and they really should have, but it isn't. I'm really disappointed as far as ventilation is concerned. The other helmet that I use, which is a Scorpion, yes, it's slightly about 100 grams heavier. It's a modular in the shape of an ADV helmet, but then I've really never felt hot inside that helmet, unless it's really burning hot in summers. Otherwise, in this weather, wherein right now the temperature is showing 28 degrees, I really wouldn't have felt hot in the Scorpion ADV. Whereas in this one, I'm not really very uncomfortable, but yes, whenever the speed gets reduced, there are times when I start feeling hot, and in 28 degrees I shouldn't feel hot at all, whether I'm at a high speed or at a low speed. inside the helmet. So that is a concern, and that is the first biggest drawback of this helmet. The next drawback of this helmet is uh, the wind noise. The wind noise is really a lot, and it's more than my Scorpion. Yes, my Scorpion is modular, but it's in the shape of an ADV helmet. Uh, as far as I remember, it has less wind noise than this one. This one has quite a lot of wind noise, and there's only one way to reduce that wind noise, and that is by pulling the windshield to the maximum height. But when you do that, then your front vent won't get any air, so you'll feel very hot. So the wind noise and the buffeting is so much that it'll bother you. So there are only two ways to handle that. Either you take this windshield of yours and set it to the maximum height, but then when you do that, you will not get any ventilation whatsoever, at least from the vent which is at the chin. And if you do set this windscreen at the highest point, you will also not get any buffeting. But then you will evaporate possibly in about 10 minutes, because you will feel so hot in this helmet. And that is why I say that had the ventilation been good, many problems would have been solved. But the ventilation isn't good, which is why which actually adds on to the problem of buffeting and the wind noise. That's a really big drawback in this helmet. Now, once I set it to the minimum height of the windshield, I will get that buffeting and that wind noise, which is at high speeds really annoying. But what is surprising, that there is buffeting and a lot of wind noise even at low speeds. See, I'm at 93 kilometers an hour right now, and there's a lot of wind noise and a lot of buffeting. You can take care of the buffeting by slightly adjusting the level of your head, which is right now I'm looking, let's say, at that yellow car or lorry or whatever it is. But if I and I'm getting less buffeting and less wind noise. But if I move my head slightly upwards, and now I'm looking at that white van, so I've kind of changed the angle of my head by about 3 degrees. So I'm getting a lot of wind noise as well as the buffeting. So if you want less wind noise, less buffeting, and maximum ventilation in this helmet, then there's only one thing that you can do, and that is adjust your angle of your head. So if you look here, you should look there. So possibly just change the head position by about 3 to 4 degrees. Actually, I'm saying the opposite. So if you're looking there, then you should look down. If you look down, then you will not have that buffeting. If you look up, then you will have a lot of buffeting. So all you have to do is look as close as you can to the road as it's convenient to you, because that will reduce your wind buffeting and the wind noise. Okay, you must be thinking that the cons have ended. No, they haven't. There's one more con, which is that there's a black semicircle-ish plastic part on this helmet, which kind of covers both the cheek pads, and that part is really flimsy. You will not believe it that when I opened the box of the helmet, when I took out the helmet from the box, that part was almost half broken, and it's so flimsy that if you will try to put that part back, it will completely break. So the best is to not touch that part at all. I complained it to the BMW showroom at Delhi, and they were happy to order it for me because it's a very it's a part which is not readily available in India, so it will come from Germany and it'll take about 45 to 60 days. So till then I've stuck that part with the 3M double-sided tape, but that's how that flimsy part is, so you've got to be careful. One positive about this helmet is it looks awesome. It's really the most handsome helmet that I have seen. It's at par with the RI XT4, some colors of the RI XT4, but this one I think looks slightly better than the XT4. I think this is lighter also than the RI XT4, I'm not sure, but I think it is. This one comes around at around 1350 grams, plus minus 50. Yeah, so that's about it. So I would suggest that the helmet is, it depends in which country you are riding. If you're riding in a cold country, then the venting part may not be an issue for you. Yes, the wind noise and the wind buffeting may be, but if you're riding in a cold country, then even that may not be an issue because you will always set the windscreen to the maximum level. And if you've done that, you don't even really need to do it at the maximum level. Even if it is at half the height, you'll be fine, because there you will not feel the need for any ventilation because it's already cold. But if you are in a hot country, then I would really suggest you to try something else, because you may have some other helmet which may be of equally good build quality, but may not have but may have more ventilation, and that is something, the ventilation is something that you need in India at least 11 months out of 12, because it's always hot here. Especially when it's humid, you really need that ventilation part. So that's my review of the BMW GS Trophy Helmet Carbon. I hope this will help you. Thank you.